Hello, beautiful peaches. Welcome to the Macros, Metabolism, and Motivation Beautiful Peach Podcast. I'm your host, Caitlen, a reverse diet expert, sustainable fat loss nerd, and food freedom lover. After healing my own mind, body, and metabolism from the icky, restrict, binge, food guilt cycles, I became obsessed with helping other women do the same. I spent 6 years getting my bachelor's and master's degrees in all things nutrition, dietetics, and metabolism health, go Clemson Tigers, in order to start a science-backed, never cookie-cutter, always customized online macro and reverse diet coaching business. I have supported over 3,500 incredible women in their journey to endless results, and I am so excited to help you do the same. In this podcast, I will be teaching you how to break up with the yo-yo diet cycles, tips and tricks to heal your metabolism through reverse dieting. I will be giving away my sustainable weight loss secrets, all without you having to give up a single food you love. So if you're ready to rediscover that self-love and truly become the most confident, beautiful peach possible, grab a pen and a piece of paper, bump up your volume just a little, and let's dive right in. And don't forget to snag your completely free high-protein macro cookbook. All you need to do is submit a quality 5-star rate and review on this podcast, then fill out the form in the show notes so I know exactly where to send your cookbook. This will actually also automatically enter you into the weekly macro calculator giveaway. Every week, I give away a copy of my C. Schmidt macro calculator to one lovely, beautiful peach who has left an awesome 5-star rate and review on this podcast. The winner is announced every single week in my email newsletter email list, as well as my Instagram story. You can't miss it. So leave that 5-star rate and review, and I will see you in the episode. What is up, my beautiful peach? Today we are going to be talking all about, should you stop weighing yourself daily? Why the scale does not matter, okay? And this one's going to be a good one if the scale does bother you, if the number on the scale derails your day, if it is causing, if it's a make or break on how you feel going about your day, okay? And I want to start by sharing that you don't have to stop weighing yourself if you have stressors over the scale. However, you should decide, number one, can you work on continuing to weigh yourself without it mentally derailing your progress, okay? And a lot of times the education behind the number on the scale is what really helps people get into a place where they're like, yes, I can do that, Caitlen. Like, yes, I can get into a place where the scale isn't derailing my progress. And if that's you, if you're like, I really want to work on that, but I'd like some education behind the number on the scale, go listen to my episode 85, Freeing Yourself from the Scale Obsession, Embracing a Healthy Body Image. That one is has so many golden nuggets when it comes to the number on the scale. And a lot of that information is what really helped me personally start my own journey from letting the scale be a make or break like a decade ago to now today. I'm like, I literally could care less what the scale says. Genuinely, I'm like, I could care less. So go listen to that episode. And what I almost would actually recommend you doing, if this relates to you, to where you're like, I don't really want to stop weighing myself, but I really want to stop stressing about the scale, go listen, pause this episode right now, or in a second after I finish this little tidbit right here, and go listen to episode 85 and then come back to this episode and see if it changes the way that you are feeling, okay? So go ahead and do that if you'd like to pause and go listen and then come back. Now, number two, if you have tried letting go of the number on the scale and it simply just is not working and it's just not happening for you, keep listening. Okay, keep listening. I have so many women who get hung up on the scale and it actually slows down their progress. So I want to do this episode because I have been in your shoes in the past and I have made the mistakes, which I would like to say so you don't have to make them, although in many cases you might be making them. But I'm also wanting to share this so it can kind of give you some insight on how to stop making those mistakes. So without further ado, let's dive into this episode. Should you stop weighing yourself daily? Why the scale does not matter. Okay, my beautiful peach. Here we go. Progress is about inches. It is not about pounds. I'm going to repeat that. Progress is about inches. It's not about pounds, okay? I have clients who focus on inches rather than the scale number, and they tend to actually have faster progress. You might be thinking, how in the heck does that even make sense, Caitlen? And I will tell you, okay? This is an open mindset that allows them to move forward quickly, and it is because they are not focusing on the number on the scale, okay? And the reason for this is because if the scale fluctuates, which it will, and you have a freak out about the scale fluctuating, which I have done in the past, but now being on the other side, it is freedom. That little giggle I just did. I found that really funny and I couldn't hold in my giggle. Anyway, it gives you freedom, being free from the scale. But if you are in a place, right, where the scale fluctuates and you have a freak out, what very often happens, and I know this because I have been in this place in the past, is it leads to the all or nothing mentality, which causes us to spiral. And it pushes us into a place where we are actually falling off track. We are self-sabotaging, and the next Monday rolls around, the next week rolls around, the next month rolls around, the next year rolls around, and you feel bummed out, disappointed in yourself because you couldn't keep a promise to yourself, and you feel like you have to start over because you are starting over, okay? And we're going to get more into that shortly because that is a very, 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 very common cycle. A lot of my BPM clients have this cycle, and that's something that we work deeply on, okay? And we're going to get to more into that in just one second. If the scale fluctuates and you literally don't care, you simply move on. You keep making progress. No spiral, no starting over. Off you go, okay? Faster progress, no starting over, okay? If you, this is a good episode. Okay, so actually, I have one more episode for you that you might want to listen to before listening to this one. You can listen to it after. But after episode 146, the one right before this one, should you weigh yourself when reverse dieting? This one actually talks about how I navigate coaching clients who do not want to weigh in. I highly suggest going to listen to that because it is just go listen to it after this episode. We'll put it at that. Go listen to it after this episode, okay? Now, when it comes to the scale fluctuating and us having a freak out about the scale fluctuating, what's essentially going to happen is that when we are waking up, I have all of my clients weigh first thing in the morning just because our weight is going to go up throughout the day because we are consuming food. This has quite literally nothing to do with your body fat. And I mean, to be completely honest with you, the number on the scale is like 10% of the data that we really need to track. There are so many better ways to track our progress than the scale, but it is still a nice little data variable that I like to see, okay? Now, the thing though about this is if we weigh ourselves and we are on a one-track mind of my weight is this number and this number only, or I want my weight to be this number and this number only, and we wake up and it is in a fluctuation and it is higher than where we want it to be. Why do we want it to be, why do we want it to be that number? Because we think that number means fat loss. We think that number means success. But in reality, that number really doesn't mean anything. The success comes from the inches lost. The success comes from the body composition change. The success comes from the energy, the libido, the freedom, the feeling good in your body, okay? But what happens is we see that number on the scale in the morning and it can completely make us say, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. Oh my gosh, this number is not where I want it to be, even if you might be down in inches, okay? Even if your progress pictures might look better, right? And it's going to cause us to go into that all or nothing mentality. And for a lot of women, this can happen over a weekend, okay? So this is a very similar cycle to the cycle that I talk about of restrict and binge, to where we are restricting all week long. We go out to dinner. We have something that we might consider off limit or a bad food. We eat a little bit of it. We think, oh, I'm already off track. Might as well keep going. Then the binge happens. Next thing you know, Monday rolls around and you're starting over. This is a very, very similar or very similar cycle, I should say, and a little bit of a similar mindset, just a different scenario. And that scenario is stepping on the scale. You think, oh my gosh, I'm off track. Well, screw it. I'm already off track. I might as well just go eat all the food. Oh gosh, I've started binging. Well, might as well keep going. And that binge continues, okay? I want to interrupt this oh so lovely podcast episode of mine to let you know that BPM, my beautiful peach mastermind, is open for enrollment. BPM is my high-level group coaching program for women who want to reverse diet to heal their metabolism from that restrictive burnout so they can lose the weight and keep it off for good. It is for women who want to increase their energy and joy for life so they can chase after their kiddos, go out to eat with their significant other, and even have wine night with the girls without that restrict, binge, and food guilt cycle. As a bonus, all of my BPM clients get complimentary access to my reverse diet course, where you will learn exactly how to adjust macros for reverse dieting on your own. This quite literally includes my own personal spreadsheets that help you customize your reverse diet for your success. I even threw in my alcohol plug-and-play tracker for you ladies. Go ahead and apply through the link in the show notes or hop over to my Instagram and feel free to send me the DM BPM sneak peek for my inside look of the program details. I can't wait to see your application and enjoy the rest of the episode. The really cool thing about, and this doesn't sound weird, but the really cool thing about this mindset is you don't have to be there forever. And you can take myself as that example. Like, I've put in a heck of a lot of work to get to where I am, right? Nothing worth having comes easy. And also nothing changes if nothing changes. If this is a cycle that you have been in for years upon years upon years, my sweet peach, you got to do something about it, okay? And I know that because I was in that cycle for years and years and years. And it really took me listening to my gut and being like, nothing's changing. I'm scared to change. I'm scared to get out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to be so much happier when I do. And you are worthy and deserving of it, okay? And you won't fail because, well, okay, I don't like the word failure. I was going to say, like, you don't fail because you are in a space where it's fitting naturally into your life. But I also believe that we fail in order to win. Like, we have to fail in order to learn what we do and don't want. I'm talking with my hands so much right now. I feel like Alexis from Schitt's Creek, which is like one of my favorite shows. That and New Girl I can watch on freaking repeat. I think I've seen both. I mean, honestly, I've literally probably watched both, like, I don't know, 30 times through. That probably was dramatic. Maybe like 10. I don't know. I keep watching them on repeat. Anyway, my point here is you can do the hard things. You can really, 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 really do the hard things. You can. You really can. And I have a few clients I really, really get to know my clients well. And that's one of my favorite things about coaching. But I get to see how I can support you in an individual way. So I have a few clients who absolutely love affirmations, who love for me to give them the validation that they're going in the right direction. And they are. And I love to give the reminders that you can do the hard things because you can. And you might not believe in yourself, but you should. And I do. I believe in you. I just wish I could give you a bear hug. I really do. Because I know the struggles. I know how hard it feels. And I'm like, let me just bring you into my world and I will support you to get there. But moving on, okay? So really, really focusing on that freedom is going to be a make or break if it's something that really pushes you into a space where it is derailing your progress, okay? And if it is something where it is so much derailing your progress, don't weigh yourself. It is not freaking worth it. There are so many better variables, okay? Now, it is also important to note the emotional freedom that you get by healing your relationship with the scale or not weighing yourself. If that's something where you're like, I literally can't get the scale out of my mind, like not weighing yourself. The women who stop obsessing with the scale experience this emotional freedom, right? Because if you notice that the scale is literally running your life, like think about it. I really want you to think about these things. If the scale is running your life and you notice that it's literally making you either happy or sad starting out your day, which the scale should not be determining how happy or sad you are. It's causing your nervous system to feel off, okay? When we're so stressed about the scale, it can actually mess with our nervous system, okay? It can literally cause problems with hormonal balance with some of those stress hormones. And it's creating more stress in your world, which is actually going to push you off track, which is pretty wild. So if you imagine a world, and I want you to genuinely imagine this, and this is something that you can have by the end of the year. I'm like talking with my hands so much because I just believe in you so much. Like, you just got to start, okay? You just have to start. And if you're like, I literally don't know where to start, Caitlen, send me the word QUIZ quiz on Instagram in my DM. And I have a little automated quiz that I've spent literally months creating that will send you the exact place to start, either a freebie or a actual, paid program or course for you, but it gives you both. So you have a freebie as well, showing you exactly where you need to start. So you're not just kind of sitting around being like, I know nothing changes, like if nothing changes, but you're like, hey, nothing changes if nothing changes. Let's go make this happen, okay? And if you imagine a world where you literally, in the next 30 days, 60 days, are seeing fat loss happen, but not based on what the scale says. You are feeling so freaking amazing in your body that you are sitting at the holiday party in those jeans that you're not busting out of, in that top you feel so pretty in, your hair's done nicely, your energy's feeling good, your libido's feeling good, like all the things are feeling good, but not because the scale told you that you should feel good, right? Because you are in tune with your body. And you are living a life of food freedom, knowing how to nourish your body, how to fuel your body, not based on if the scale was higher or lower that morning. And the scale is not determining how you live your life. You are free, you are strong, you are confident, you are capable, and that gets to be you, okay? That gets to be you, okay? And this is so cheesy. It's not about the journey. Oh my gosh, it is about the journey, not the number. And this is, if you know me, you know I like analogies. Think of your fat loss and your metabolism health journey like crossing a river. If we're focused so much on the scale, it is like being absolutely terrified to step in the water, okay? Imagining a river, you can't see how deep it is, it's murky, you can't see, okay? You don't know, I just said, so you don't have this in my notes too, whoops. You don't know how deep it is. You're scared of the outcome, or are you going to step in and go, whoop, all of a sudden you're like flowing down the river, or are you going to step in and you're going to stand there and it's going to be ankle deep, right? You're scared you're going to fail. And if you're my client, I will literally it's just not going to happen. Plus also, you know my feelings on failure, but I'm going to make sure you see success, okay? And if you take the leap, you realize the river is just a small creek. You're stuck because you're so focused on the scale, but you're stuck at the side, right? But if you just take the dive, if you embrace that statement of nothing changes if nothing changes, and you make the change, that river is going to be ankle deep for you. It is. No matter what, it will be ankle deep. You just have to grab the bull by the horns and take action, okay? And that river will be ankle deep. You can stand, you can walk across it, and you can get to that end line, okay? So please do not forget your worth. Do not forget your worth. You are so capable. And you might be sitting here like, I am in the lowest low I have ever been. I am unhappy. I'm at my I am so uncomfortable in my body. I just want to hide in all of the baggy clothes. I am not wanting to make cookies with my family because I can't have them. I'll be off track. Or I make them and all of a sudden I'm binging them all and I'm starting over. Hey, I see you. I hear you. I have been you, and you have freaking got this. And if you need my support, please, please, please let me know, okay? Send me that word QUIZ on Instagram, and you'll get the full quiz that you can take. It will give you a resource to get started, and you will be able to make changes happen, okay? But please don't forget your worth. You are capable. You really, really, really are, okay? So without further ado, I don't know why I say that. That's what I say at the beginning of the episode. With all this, I will see you in the next episode, and I hope you have an awesome and lovely day. Bye, beautiful peach.